all the Xenosis, and I think this is part 24 now of the two, level challenge. Where's the thing that Brood, and that took a long time. Now 16 18-inch cannons. You might think that, oh, what's the point of having so many 18-inch cannons? Yeah, there is actually. Oh no. God fucking damn it. Oh, actually, no, not god fucking damn it. I'm pretty certain she can solo it even without materia here. I'm pretty certain. Yeah, because she's still 625 damage. Damn, I wish I remembered. I wish I remembered this, because this gives you some decent AP. Even though there's nothing stealable from him. He dies in one more hit. Because he had like, what, 2500 health? Or was it 3000 health? Or was it 3500 health? Now the only thing that could possibly do a lot of damage to me would be... Yeah, we missed out on 90 AP. That would have been 180 AP. If I triple it, it would have been... if I triple it, it would have been 270 AP. Could have gotten. Now the XP there, yeah, but that's actually good. We got her up to level 30 there and stuff that, because that makes it so that it's using that threshold, so we don't need to even think twice about it, stuff that. So yeah. So of course it's pretty damn useful, but yeah. I think it's Circle X. I think it's Circle Square XX is what the correct combination is. Because see, here is the thing, right? The quote-unquote the tips he give you. Like, I know that supposedly they say that, oh, it's a process of elimination, basically, like all the tips he gives are fake. Stuff that, I mean, I would like the first password to not be correct. I think the blah 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 digit is something like that, and you're like, okay, so that digit will never be it, I wonder if that's documented, like all the tips he can give you, because basically, like every time you enter a code, basically he was saying, oh, I think the first digit is a blah 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 number and stuff that, I think it's Circle Square XX, or it's X Circus, or it's Circle Square XX, or it's Square Circle XX. This is where we're like, oh hey, why are they? Why is it like 2 X's in a row? Yeah. I could just go and get the paper and just check, but I'd rather not. Keep in mind, right, in the true lowest level possible challenge, there will be a bunch of really important things. For example, one, we'll be getting HP plus instead of getting Force Stealer. We don't want to get Force Stealer. We will also probably be spending a lot less cash, at least early on, because there's no point in equipping an assault gun. If all you're using early on is just the grenade costs 80Q. It's actually cheaper than weapons and stuff like that. And that also means that, for example, we won't invest into Titan Battle, nor into Mithril Armlets, nor into Metal Knuckle, nor into the staff or whatever, right? Then we can use things about say, oh, but that makes bosses easier, sure. But then, right, then we won't be abusing Ares all the time, basically, and stuff like that. But of course, if Ares is the lowest level at that point, Ares will be the one that absorbs all the XP. Because it is really smart. It is of course crazy how old Sid is supposed to be in this. Or old and old, I mean. I forgot what they say. In the Destruction Man, did they even make him over 50 years old? Or did they actually make him only like 40 or something? Or, no. No, Barrett is also kind of old actually. Barrett I think is 36 or 39, I think. So I know he's not really old. Because, you know, I'm 4 and stuff that, you know. So yeah, so what is it, 2035? I'm going to be 50, 2035. It's going to be crazy to think about. Yeah, because I'm not... Those hair kind of looks different. They actually changed his hair. Yes. So circle, square, X, so cross. Yeah. Although, right, it would be more fun if you could actually get a passcode somewhere, right? That would be something, you know. It's a huge material, we've gotten all of them now. So you get the Corel Fault Condor underwater reactor. And this, well, technically it doesn't get added yet. Now it should be added, right? No? Fault Condor underwater Corel. Why is it not added yet? Sorry. But then it would have been cool if you could have gotten more of the key items, by the way, just for like completion's sake. Imagine like a new game plus in this, something like that, you know. Or like even a difficulty mode, and then like, for example, like, let's say you had a hard mode in this, for example. You had a hard mode. Like what would hard mode entail? Hard mode would actually entail that fights would actually give you more XP, like more AP as well and stuff like that. And then maybe certain stats would be changed on certain weapons so that now certain weapons are actually more powerful and stuff like that, you know. And maybe even double AP, like all weapons now basically have double AP and stuff like that. And then the weapons that already had double AP will either have more slots or will have linked slots, for example, like for example, the other 3 slot double AP weapons will work like Peacewakery, so it will have 1 linked slot and 1 free slot, but still be double AP, because that's where the Peacewaker is. But the Javelin, of course, is very, very good, because the Javelin has linked slots. As you can see here, the Javelin it's 2 linked slots, so it has like 5 slots, yeah, 5 slots. But it's 2 linked slots and 1 free. Yeah, that's basically one of the better double AP weapons, of course. Stuff that, yeah. But it makes sense, of course, if you know about the role Dragoons tend to have. If they're in a game, the Dragoons tend to be powerful and stuff there, but yeah. I thought, was Dragoons in the original, or was that one of the War of the Lions classes? Because I know that there are people out there that are not going to get the Evilist Chronicles because of the fact that it doesn't have the Dark Knight. And that is completely understandable, because one of the guest characters is technically a Dark Knight. So it makes no sense that why then wouldn't you have access to it, you know. You can clearly see another planet there that's supposed to be the moon, of course. The question is though, would the moon have had? Because I believe, right, that in certain lore, Omega Weapon actually comes from the moon. I mean, Omega Weapon in certain games are more machine-looking than, like, you know, right? And I know certain people say, oh, he's supposed to be a robot or whatever, right? I mean, in certain games, you can say that some of their weapons looks like quote-unquote robots and stuff like that, you know. Like Ultima Weapon looks more like a flying, like Mechagodzilla or whatever, you know. But I mean, it's not Mechagodzilla that flies, but there is another one that is like the flying one. That's kind of like a dragon. What is it called? Gojira? No, not Gojira. I forgot them. I forgot all the names. I know there's the giant flying moth thing. There's like a fucking... There's a Mechagodzilla also, but Mechagodzilla isn't a villain, right? I mean, Godzilla does get to fight actually Mechagodzilla and stuff, but yeah, there's, you know. And I kind of wish they would have made it so that if you allow Shinra to get all the huge materia, that something special would have happened. Right, but you know, like imagine right if they would have actually given a time limit at once. BTO gets summoned, right? You would have a time limit or whatever, right? And there you can see that it's currently where the moon is there. Stuff that's here. Because you can see that other planet here. But imagine right if that other planet is actually supposed to be where Spira is. That Spira is supposed to be the moon. And stuff that. Because that would explain how they could fly from Spira and start the Shinra Electric Company, because supposedly it was the Shinra guy in Final Fantasy X2 specifically. Because X2 takes place, of course, after X and stuff like that. I know that a lot of people like really dislike X2, but I actually looked forward to X2, and you know, yeah, it's women only game and stuff that, you know, because of the partners of female and stuff that. But then it had a very cool job system with the fact that they used the whole over the top, like they were like, oh, let's like what if Final Fantasy 10, what if Final Fantasy was Sailor Moon, almost like what we told, you know, because basically their quote unquote dress theirs or like transformation sequences, basically like, you know, like you know, like it's also a thing in, you know, Transformers, you know, stuff like that, especially like in, you know, the Japanese ones, like car robot, like robots in disguise, basically. And stuff that, you know, like when they say that like tsunami blaster, you know, like left laser, right laser, center laser, Megatron terrorize, you know, stuff that, you know. And then see this like blah 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 and stuff that, and now we go to the Cosmic Canyon and stuff that, because we're the planet, and the planet is like blah blah. Land paw. Jag borde ha told us. Shall we go? Yes, we do, but now you want to go back in here. Let's use the inn first here. Wait, did they call it the correct thing? Because this is supposed to be the name of the turtle enemy in the sewers there. Right, they call it that, right? Shanghai Inn. Or Sahagnin is actually what they're supposed to be, you know, and stuff that, you know. Right, they even say things there and stuff that they say actually different things that now if you ask for the story. Yeah, safety bit is interesting, of course. Because, yeah. You get more tranquilizers at this point, maybe. We have quite a few of them now. But yeah, so now she's level 30, so she's higher than both of them. And he's actually the furthest away. And I'm pretty certain that the characters that were level 30 will actually be 31 now. I forgot to do the other. Now that such as we've already got them. Yeah, barrier, exit, time, throw, death blow, manipulate. The time is actually fairly cheap and stuff like that, but yeah, I actually feel like running the default battle speed is probably something you should be doing. Out of appreciation to give you this. Venus Gospel, and it's weird, like why does he have it? Because the Venus Gospel, of course, is the same lands as Kimahri is getting and stuff like that, but you know, in Final Fantasy X it was always a little weird, like why didn't they give Kimahri his own? You could technically say that the very first part of the Spear grid is supposed to quote unquote be Kimahri's grid, Like all of those skills there, for example, belong to Kimari, but that's actually answer and stuff like that. But right, that depends on what you mean, right? Because the links belongs to Kimari and Flak belongs to Kimari and Lancet belongs and Scan belongs to Kimari specifically. Because they're not in the other people's grid and stuff like that, especially if you go with the standard grid and stuff like that, because yeah. And I believe you can still actually run here. This doesn't exit the town. It does. You can't even go inside here anymore. Huh. Right, so I'm guessing they didn't even bother doing that. That's interesting. Yeah, but you get a Venom's Cosplayer, and Venom's Cosplayer, of course, is his quote-unquote ultimate weapon and stuff like that, and that actually scales with MP that you have. And I forgot, does he give you something now in here? You gotta learn more, devotion. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have done that, over here. So we don't do that yet. It's actually better to do the Cosmic Canyon thing first, because then we can make sure that we pick up. Another thing. But actually, let me check here first. So she's level 30. He's level 30. She's 6,212 away. He's level 29 though. He is very, very far away, so let's put him down here. He is a lot closer. Ocelot is even closer. So he is 3,400, so he's further away. Barrett is the furthest. And of course she's the lowest. So if you will replace Yuffie, and Yuffie is actually the furthest away from all of these. So basically, it's his closest. He is the second closest. And Vincent, and then Barrett, and then finally her. But she is actually the furthest away from them. However, when it comes to the 29 cloud, as you can see here, she's closest. And he, Sid, is the closest. So Sid will get to use Scimitar and probably Circulus as well here. Right. And how much is the timer? Okay. And I really want to take it up now. Stuff that I know that would make the part really, really short and stuff that, the second part, but that would also make the uploading faster and stuff that, because I wouldn't want to leave you listening to the music and stuff that, of course. I don't know how long the dump is going to take, sometimes it takes extra long time and stuff that, so. Yeah, that's level 29 there, stuff that, not level 30 on every character yet, but yeah. The highest is level 30 now. Almost everyone is level 30 at the same time, which is absolutely crazy. If you're being honest, right? Because if you think about the level that Cold to level is level 42 or whatever, right? Yeah, you can easily be lucky. Normally, right, that when you're playing casually, you're actually meant to be kind of be level 40-ish, level 50-ish, or then actually you can technically be level 50-ish already when you reach Lime. Instead of that, because I always thought that was supposed to be where you're supposed to be. You're actually supposed to be level 50 I want to receive that much. I think we'll see, but we definitely quite easy grounding, but not really. It's not really that insane and stuff that we get. But I will stop recording now and stuff that because I used to, need to